Alright, guys, it is Thursday, May the 12th, 2022, at 6:41 p.m. Alright, let's start by looking at dailyverses.net. Verse of the day, it says, "You shall not covet your neighbor's house, you shall not covet your neighbor's wife, or his male or female servant, his ox or donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor." Exodus 20:17. Alright, guys, let's take a look at the GFS model. Alright, so we're starting with the GFS model for what's showing right now is May 20th. As you see here, in the orange and red right here, these little two dots, that's something possibly building around the 20th to the 24th to the 27th, some storm possibly building in the Gulf. So don't know if it's actually gonna happen because the GFS sometimes doesn't give everything accurate so far out, as the 20th. That's far out in the future. So I'm just gonna look at the models and show you what I got. Alright. So it's showing something, a low of 1,005 above the Yucatan Peninsula, below Florida and Cuba. Alright. Alright. Oh, some storm or system building over the low of 994 below Cuba on the 22nd. I'm gonna see if I can zoom in so you guys can see that better. Alright, so that's it zoomed in, and a possible storm building below Cuba next to the Yucatan Peninsula, possibly heading into the Gulf. Alright, let's take a look at WX charts. This gives you further out possible weather forecast of the GFS model. It gives you more days. The other one only reaches until a certain date and then it stops. This one shows you further to see what could possibly build near the Yucatan Peninsula and into the Gulf. Alright, here we go. Here's the low 1003 below Cuba on the 21st. Then of a low of 991 below Cuba. Then it reaching the Gulf at a low of 968 millibars. Then 965 millibars, 67 millibars here in the Gulf. Alright, so here is a storm possibly happening if it does actually build and create a storm. This is what the models are showing. This is the GFS, a low of 969, possible storm in the Gulf of Mexico, below Louisiana and Texas. Don't know if it's going to Florida or Texas or if it's going anywhere else, but this is just what the models are showing. So I wanted to share that with you guys so you guys could see it for yourselves, just in case. Alright, so you guys have a heads up weeks ahead before anything happens. Alright. Here is the National Hurricane Center saying no new tropical cyclones are expected during the next 5 days. So the next 5 days are hurricane free. The National Weather Service showing let's see, flood warnings for northeastern North Dakota and western Minnesota. A flood watch as well for northeast Minnesota and northern Wisconsin. So we have flood watches up here. We have severe thunderstorm watch for east and central Wisconsin and for northern Michigan. Then we have a red flag warning, possible fire danger for northern and central New Mexico, Texas, and Kansas, as well as a little bit for northern Michigan. So we have red flag warnings there. Alright guys, so you guys are aware of that. We also have high wind watches for western South Dakota and northeastern Wyoming, and for central Nebraska. Alright guys. Let's go. This is for today. This is day one convective outlook for May 12th with the possible severe weather in these areas. The red or the moderate right here over Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Fargo, North Dakota, Moorhead, Minnesota, Norfolk, Nebraska, and Aberdeen, South Dakota. So we have these areas right here in red with a possible chance of severe weather. There's also enhanced, has Omaha, Nebraska, Minneapolis, Minnesota, St. Paul, Minnesota, Lincoln, Nebraska, and Sioux City, Iowa. And then we have slight for Jackson, Mississippi, Rochester, Minnesota, Duluth, Minnesota, Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and Ames, Iowa. And then the marginal is for Kansas City, Missouri, New Orleans, Louisiana, Wichita, Kansas, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Lubbock, Texas. We also have a slight here over Mississippi, so possible slight chance of severe weather in these areas. So if you are in these areas, please be aware there's a chance of possible severe weather there, as well as Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina being affected by that system that's in the Atlantic. All right, let's take a look now at the tropical weather map. This is showing pretty much just the clouds over the Atlantic. But what I'm looking for are the temperatures. Here are the temperatures, the water temperatures for the Gulf right now. Alright, so we have the Gulf at 80, 81, 82 degrees, 79 by Louisiana, 77 by Florida. Alright, so the Gulf waters are warm enough to possibly, if there was a storm that got in there, it could possibly develop. The water is warm enough. 81 to 83 degrees below Cuba, 82 degrees. Alright, so the water is warm enough to possibly sustain a storm like this one in the Gulf. Alright, guys? So it would come from the Yucatan Peninsula and possibly go into the Gulf. Alright, so we have to keep an eye on that. Alright, next, let's take a look at Space River News on Twitter, or News2River. Alright, possible gas shortage for the East Coast. Prepare accordingly. Apparently, there could be, in the next couple of weeks, gas shortage or diesel shortage for the eastern states. It says we expect to have locations experiencing temporary, intermittent diesel outages. We expect the below states to be impacted by the most by these supply shortages in Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania. Possible. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. It means it possibly could happen. If it does happen, it would be in the East Coast. And you see here my doggy with me. I just gotten some more Starlight for my husband. He went out and he got me the soda that I like called Starlight. Alright, next. Let's see what else. There was a 4.7 earthquake in Japan. The struck near Iwaki, the Iwaki-shi, Fukushima, Japan area. Alright, also, let's see, we have there, from Jim Tang, says, but actually seriously is 10 days in Super Fantasyland, and the signal in the Caribbean is strong. I think 50-50 we see a tropical system develop down there in 10 days. So even the experts are saying possibility that something could develop, not 100% sure, 50-50. Alright, guys. And then we have a moderate risk, as I was talking about, possible for Minnesota and that area in the north in Sioux Falls. So please stay safe if you live in the northern states and parts of Mississippi as well. Possible slight marginal severe weather happening there. Alright, guys, I'm looking to see if there's any more. Alright, guys, so this is a topic that I have for my YouTube channel. It says, when you see this, it might be too late. Are you paying attention? The Biden administration is planning to sign a treaty on May 22nd to the 28th with the WHO, or the World Health Organization, giving the UN complete control over Americas to deal with any nation's alleged health crisis. If this is true, it is quite creepy. Let's take a look at my YouTube channel, and we were talking about the slight risk. Then we were here on my post on the community channel, on the community tab, excuse me. You go to my YouTube channel, my community tab, I have a lot of headline news that I share. Border has shelves of baby formula and baby food. So there's a baby food shortage happening, and a lot of mothers are not getting in the stores that they look any baby formula. But the border detention center holds baby formula during shortage, and they're shipping baby formula into the detention center, pallets of it. And here are the images that show the baby formula being stocked and stockpiled there. Alright, as you see here, our pallets of baby formula being sent to the border for illegal aliens while American moms can't find it on the shelf and are struggling. Florida Congress Ritter says a Border Patrol agent sent her the photos to prove it. Billions to Ukraine, now this. So a lot of parents that are struggling to find baby formula can't, because a lot of it is being shipped to the border. Alright, and this is what I was talking about, the WHO, the World Health Organization, possibly having a lockdown in all America if they vote on it on May 22nd. On May 22nd, the WHO will have authority to lock down all of America on paper if it does go through. As well as rising temperatures could put a strain on Texas power grid. As you see, there's a link to the article so you guys can check it out if you go to my community tab. As well as North Korea orders nationwide shutdown due to COVID. So remember a couple days ago when I made a video that I was talking about that there was apparently North Korean just pretty much, they just all went home and everything was shut down? Well, it's because of COVID. Alright, also the moon causing flooding due to close orbit to Earth. So that flooding that was happening on the coastline of North Carolina and the shoreline there was due to the moon causing flooding due to the close orbit to the Earth, as well as the storm that was happening in the Atlantic at the time. Alright, also Fort Bragg paratroopers land on North Carolina home. I found this pretty amazing. There were paratroopers practicing next to Fort Bragg base, and some paratroopers got drifted away from their goal of their area, target area for landing their parachutes, them with their parachutes, and they landed on some homes on North Carolina. So that was quite shocking when you think of possible something happening, seeing parachutes in the air. You think, oh my god, is it an invasion? Nope, it's the military practicing. Alright. As well as I was saying earlier, gas shortage imminent for the East Coast. Major trucking firms prepare for imminent diesel shortage in the eastern half of the U.S. There's the link for the article, which is in the community tab of my YouTube channel. And then a 4.2 earthquake that happened in Montana or Yellowstone area. A 4.2, as you see here, these are smaller earthquakes, and look how much larger this one is. So a bit of a serious look to keep an eye on Yellowstone. Doesn't mean that anything's gonna blow up or anything, but always great to keep an eye on what's happening on Yellowstone. And this cool picture looks like a cross, so inspiring. Keep watching for Jesus. Look up for your redemption draws near. Flare occurred on May 10th. This flare looks like a cross right there, and I thought that was pretty awesome to share that. Alright, next we have strange sounds. I'm totally anxious and terrified under an apocalyptic orange sky. Largest U.S. wildfire menaces New Mexico towns. Videos and pictures. You see the sky here just totally orange in New Mexico. That does seem creepy and apocalyptic. I believe the other day China was having red skies, and that was creepy. Alright. Here we go again with the North Korea major national emergency as first cases of COVID-19 identified in North Korea. Alright. And I'm not seeing any articles on the red sky in China. Alright. Alright, let's go to Zero Hedge. We have, amid gravest COVID emergency, North Korea launches 3 ballistic missiles ahead of Biden Seoul visit. Let's take a look at this article. It says, amid gravest COVID emergency, North Korea launches 3 ballistic missiles ahead of Biden's Seoul visit. On Thursday, North Korea continued its spate of provocative weapons tests. The time is firing off at least 3 ballistic missiles toward its eastern waters, according to South Korea's defense ministry and Japan. The timing is rising alarm, given it comes just ahead of President Joe Biden's planned trip to the Korea Peninsula. Late next week, he's expected in Seoul, after which he heads to Japan, where the White House stated he'll discuss opportunities to deepen our vital security relationships. So North Korea shooting off missiles. Alright guys, so I'll leave you guys the links to the articles, links to my YouTube channel, and a link to the possible storm if it does happen in the Gulf. So you guys can check out the models yourselves. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Hit like and subscribe, and see you guys next time. God bless.